In this video, we're going to restore this original 1956 Strat neck back to how it looked before the fingerboard was sanded, refretted, and completely refinished. After that happened, they also oversprayed the entire headstock, so the decal, as you can see, is under the finish instead of above it. It does have some pretty nice checking and a good color. There's also finish above the bushings. Same with the back. Again, it has some pretty good checking. You can see the original hole for the router template to be fastened. There's also one of those back here, right there. And if you're curious, this neck is 0.565 inches thick, or the headstock I mean, in case you want to measure your guitar, your reissue, custom shop, or original, or maybe even build a replica. So again, this fingerboard was completely sanded down, and just to show you, also the, the neck date is long gone. You can kind of see on the right side a little smudge mark of pencil. It's probably a 1056 to early 57, judging by the shape of the neck. But this will help you understand too, for all the people who are going to get mad when I work on this fingerboard. It was planed again. Like, I could say that a billion times, people are still going to get mad. But if you look at this fingerboard or this neck, look at the right above the nut, the truss rod nut, the amount of wood that's there. And then look at this one again. You can see that this neck was completely sanded down and planed. So the fingerboard wear, there was probably a bunch more of it. But you can see the stains, but it's mostly sanded out. And again, it's under the finish. So what I'm going to do is, the owner of this neck wants me to basically remove that finish from above these spots. And if I take it outside into the natural daylight, you can really see the spots. So I'm going to put a bone nut on here, and the original nut, I'm not sure what happened to it, but I'm assuming they still use that. But you can see the grooves in the frets, and I marked them with a Sharpie where they are. So I located a bone nut here that has the same spacing. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put strings on this neck, and that way not only will I use the light to find these visually, but the strings will also give me a guide of exactly where they should be, as far as in a nice straight parallel line. So I don't want them all zigzagged like some people do. When I do that, I'm just going to use these reissue tuners, which who cares, right? But here's what I'm getting to. Anytime I work on vintage necks, I use original screws for the wood, and I have basically every original screw possible. These aren't original to this neck, but these are 57 parts. So when I put these tuners on, those don't matter, but I want the hole, or the screws going into this wood, to be the perfect match. No stripping, nothing too big, nothing too small. Also, you'll never catch me using power tools, no drills. Everything is done by hand, very carefully. I've said this in other videos, but when you put a screw in, drop it in there, go counterclockwise until it drops down a little bit. That finds the thread, and then you screw it down clockwise. Anyway, no power tools, original screws for original wood. So next, I'm going to put these strings on, and then mark all the spots again. I've said this earlier in a video, a test one I deleted anyway. I'm going to use this brown Sharpie right here when I mark these spots, because brown is the same color as the stain, so less chances of any kind of, accidental Sharpie marks. So I'm going to put the strings on there, I'm going to mark those spots, and then we'll come back. So I've already installed all the parts on this neck. I mounted it to a body and put strings on it. Then I took it outside into some nice bright natural daylight and marked all of these wear spots. So that is the wear pattern of this neck. Next, I just have to remove the finish from above these spots, and for that, I'll use this little razor knife right here. I custom shaped the blade to work better for the job and then dulled it too because I don't want to scratch this wood. It's very important not to hurt this. So next I'm going to reset up the camera and then start removing that finish. So I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this, but basically I'm just going to take this and just lightly start scratching this finish away. Let me move this light just a little bit. You can see it right there, it's coming off. Now I'm not going to do this whole thing on here because this is a very important neck and I need to be able to focus on it without a camera in front of my face, but I'm going to show you guys a little bit of this. Okay, I can see the wood in one little spot right there. This probably isn't super exciting. I mean, I know it is to some of you guys out there. Like, I would watch this stuff all day myself over some Hollywood crap. So, I'm going to finish the rest of this, or at least get it down to wood all the way down, because this is boring to watch probably, and I really want to focus on this. Once this is down to wood, when I go to the fading in part, we'll move on to that, and I'll show you how I do that, and then we'll just keep going on from there. So I'm going to cut this right now, and then once this is all done, we will go back to watching it, the next step. So 2 hours later, and here's how it looks. As you can see, they're really rough right now because they're not finished, but this is what you can expect. So to refine these, I'm going to take this super fine steel wool, lightly dampen it, and go vertically back and forth with the grains to smoothen these areas out. From there, I'll probably switch to 3000 grit sandpaper to finish them off. Once I'm satisfied, I'll take one of these stains I made, mix them with water, and rub them into these areas. So from here though, I'll set up the camera and show you part of this steel wool process. Not the entire thing, because I want to focus on the neck, but just enough to give you an idea of what I'm doing. So coming up next. So I'm just going to do this little spot right here. And I try not to get the lacquer around it too much. I just kind of focus on just the little spot that I'm working on. You probably can't see this very well, but either can I, so I guess that's fair. All this is going to do is take off all the little rough spots and smoothen out the lacquer to where it looks more natural. Although some of these old necks, the wear is really chipped up because the paint is so brittle. You can see it's slowly happening, so I'm going to do the rest of this off camera so I can focus on it. So I'll show you what it looks like probably when it's done, I'm guessing. So anyway, that'll be coming up next, the final reveal. So there was an accident and the neck got destroyed. Just kidding. I'm going to start with the back of the neck. I forgot to tell you guys, I was going to age that too. So that's that. Let me flip this guy over. And that is what it looks like. I also made this little custom bone nut, just like an original one. It's nice and smooth. Let me move this a little bit. So hopefully you like this and you're not super freaked out. I'll do one more shot of the before and after right now. Before, and here's after. I'm going to flip this around real quick. Well, that is it. Thanks for watching, and like always, take care.